What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Everyday Discipline, where we decode, deconstruct, and reverse engineer self-discipline for you to get whatever it is you want in your life. My name is Brent Kokel. I am your host. As always, love it when you're here on the show with me. Okay, guys, I'm going to get right to it today because this one, it really makes sense in my mind and how it applies across every single important domain of your life. Last week, I was down in Orange County and I went on a vacation with my wife at the end of the weekend, but I was down there for the whole week and I was doing a bunch of work. So I had an event down there, but I also have a new consultant who's down there in San Clemente who we're working on this really interesting marketing strategy that is 100% organic. It requires a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of work, but when it comes to the cost of customer acquisition, it drives it down to zero. So you're using sweat equity to get it, all leveraged through social media platforms. And it's this really interesting thing, but it's something that I know nothing about. Because I deleted Instagram 6 months ago, I deleted Facebook a year ago because it just kept calling me. I was addicted to it. I'd pick up my phone while I'm sitting in my office and I would not even recognize where the last 20 to 30 minutes went because I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And one of the things that's interesting about that is that the average American scrolls 312 linear feet a day on Facebook or Instagram. That's the height of the Statue of Liberty. It's crazy to think how much of our time is spent just flipping our thumbs up towards the top of our phone. It's crazy when you look around, go out and look around at a Starbucks or go around, especially when you're at an airport, everybody's got their phone in their hand. Even worse, you go to the park with your kids and you look around and people aren't watching their kids. They're swiping up with their thumbs on their phones, scrolling their social media feed. So I deleted all this stuff. So I don't know anything about this anymore. I've been out of that game for a long time and I'm really glad I did. So I was nervous going back into this, thinking am I gonna get sucked in again? And I don't have to post on Instagram, thank God, because that was my vice. But I've got this new consultant that's helping me understand all of this. And normally it's a lot of stuff over Zoom, and there's just better energy when you're there in person. So I was down in Orange County. The consultant's office is in San Clemente, and I was going to go down there and physically be in his office in person. We were going to work through the initial stages of what we're doing. And so I was staying in Laguna Beach, which is probably about 40 minutes away from San Clemente, at least at the time of day I was going. And so I hit the Uber app, and initially it looks cool, right? I hit the button and there's a car 13 minutes away. No problem, I'm going to be there on time. I think I was supposed to be there at 4 o'clock, and it said I was going to be there at 3:54. I'm like, all right, perfect. This is great. Yes, confirm my pickup location. Sit there. Maybe 2-3 minutes go by, get another notification on my phone from Uber that pushed to it that says, hey, we connected you to a new driver. He's 19 minutes away. I'm going I wonder why the first guy decided not to take the ride. I would like to think that I'm a 5-star passenger on Uber, but I've got no idea. Maybe I'm a 2 and they just decided not to do it. But that's not really the point. I sit there again, 19 minutes out. Look down again because it's been a few minutes thinking, all right, I just want to make sure he's on the way. Because I don't know if you guys ever notice it, but when you look at the app, it feels like the car that's coming towards you should be moving a lot faster than it is, or sometimes it's just stopping, or sometimes it's in the wrong direction, and you're not sure why. And so I check again. Now it's connected me to a new driver. This new driver is 27 minutes away. Now I'm thinking this is frustrating because now it says I'm going to be there at 4:20. So my meeting's at 4, we can't have it. And then immediately I look down again and it's connected me to another driver who's now 44 minutes away. And so I end up just canceling the trip and I'm like, okay, we're not doing that. And I texted my consultant, I said, hey man, we got to do this on Zoom. So I wound up doing it from the hotel room. We spent about an hour on Zoom and I got a lot of power out of that meeting that helped me understand really what the structure of what we were going to be doing was when it comes to leveraging organic social media to attract and get new clients. And it totally worked. Here's the deal and the lesson that I get inside of that, because I was really frustrated that I didn't get an opportunity to go down and be with this guy in person. Again, because the energy is so different when you're meeting with a consultant in person or a coach in person than it is anywhere outside of that. And here's the deal with the lesson, guys, is to be tied to the outcome is more important than being tied to how the outcome will come to pass, right? So in other words, be tied to what you want, not how you're going to get it. It's a really important thing because I don't know about you guys, but I often find myself getting wrapped up in what the plan was for how something was going to come to fruition in my life. There's a specific plan that says this is what we're going to do to increase our revenue by 10% without increasing our assets, or to increase our profitability by 20%, or our cash by 30%. It's like there's this specific plan. And when the specific plan doesn't work the way that I want it to work, I find myself getting frustrated. Doesn't matter that we're on track to accomplishing what I set out to accomplish. I get frustrated because it's not going in accordance to what? The plan. I'm tied to the way it will come to pass rather than the thing that will actually come to pass. Now, I see this a lot in a number of different places where, like if you think about it in body, people will say that they want to lose a certain amount of weight. And they'll start off and it'll start working, but then they fall off. And if you wonder why they fall off, it's because they're tied to the specific way that it's going to happen. They read a book, they met with a trainer, and it just didn't work the way that they wanted it to work. And because of that, they get frustrated, they give up, and they come back and they say like, okay, this isn't going to work for me. They're tied to how it's going to come to pass, not the outcome itself. When we're focused on what we want, we become a lot less tied to how we're doing it. And when you're a lot less tied to how you're doing it, you get a lot less frustrated in the things that don't go your way on a daily basis because your eyes are always on the front, thinking about what it is that you're going to be doing, where you're going, not where you are, not where you've been, but where you're going. And when you look at things in this frame, things work for you. It feels like you've got more momentum. Things are going in what is called the right direction. All because you are tied simply to the outcome. It leaves you open. It leaves you open to different ways of going about it. The story that I'm telling you guys with the organic Facebook marketing is one of those things for me, because I looked at it and I said, all right, so really what we want to do with this business, which is a coaching and consulting company, is we want to be doing at least $200,000 a month in revenue. Now, I've gotten close to that before by doing paid advertisements. The trouble with paid advertisements was that the cost of customer acquisition was just so high in it that it really hampered my ability to continue to grow it, absent increasing our closing ratio a lot, which there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, like cranking down how critical we were of the applicants for the program and like 10 different things, right? But the point of it is that when I was paying for that, I got close, but it really wasn't working. I'm still tied to that outcome, but I'm no longer tied to how that outcome is going to come to pass. That was the conventional way of doing it, which is you've got an idea, you've got an offer, you put a video together that's compelling, you get people to apply, you interview them, and they're in your program. That's the traditional way of going about direct response marketing online. I'm still tied to the outcome. I'm just not tied to the way that it's going to come to pass. I'm willing to try something different. I'm willing to put in a different level of effort than I was before because I still want that outcome, and that outcome still will happen. It's just about how it's going to happen and the way that I'm going to put forth my effort in order to make it happen. There you go. So when you find yourself frustrated at your lack of progress, at your lack of results, ask yourself if what's really happening is that you're frustrated because your plan, the thing that you're tied to, isn't working the way that you want it to work. And that the only thing that will break you out of that is recognizing is that the outcome is all that matters. It's not the way, it's not the how, it's what goes down at the end. It's like when you play golf. Nobody asks you how it happened, they ask you how many. And that's it. And for me, that's normally a lot when people ask me about golf, which we can get into another day. Whole thing here, guys, is that ask yourself this: where am I tied to how something is going to come to pass rather than the outcome itself? What do I need to let go of in the current way that I'm trying to get this thing that's going to open something up for me that's going to allow me to move forward in a way that I don't move forward right now? Ask yourself that question in the next 24 hours. And then, as always, the critical piece of this is to take action. Don't just listen, don't just be entertained, though I hope you do both of those things. I want you to act. Because when you act and take the simplest possible action, I'm not talking about some massive 180-degree shift, I'm talking about a 1-degree shift. Take action, because when you take action, you get results. That's usually the way the universe works. Take action, get result. Might not be the result you want. If that's the case, take a new action. But you've got to take action, which I hope is what you want for yourself as you're listening to this show. The simplest action that you can take in the next 24 hours is going to start the snowball of momentum towards getting what you want in your life. So you go do that now. And as always, guys, I'm going to do my job and come back next time. I want you to do your job and you come back too.